Hey everybody, I'm running a little behind today. We'll get to that in just a minute, and then I just remembered that I forgot my coffee. It's been a day already. Got a project right here. Let me go get my coffee and I'll be right back. Okay, in my yarn cup, which I can tell I kind of need to wash my yarn cup. I set my yarn cup underneath my Keurig because it drips after I make my coffee. And so I always have a little, and that's what this is. I usually have a paper towel inside the cup, and then I put it up under there and it drips onto the paper towel, and then I just empty the paper towel after it gets really, really dark, you know, really, really dirty. But it looks like it has splashed. Oh, wow. That's strong. So today's coffee is another crazy cup. And this one is peppermint chocolate mocha. Now, I've got a different setup today. I was working on a diamond painting, and I have my table up. So you guys are right here on the table. I will try not to hit you and bounce you, but I've got you right on top of my table, so you're a little closer to me. Yes, I cut my hair. That's the only thing I really accomplished all day yesterday was my hair. I have not accomplished much of anything these last 2 or 3 days. I am still trying to fight this dang infection up in my sinus. I am better, but today I have vertigo. Today I am fighting a little bit of like dizzy stuff, so maybe things are moving around. I don't know. Mr. Fiber went and got us some lunch, and I think I might not have eaten enough with my antibiotic this morning because the pharmacist had told me, you know, you really need to eat something with these. So anyway, I can taste everything in this today, though. I definitely could smell that peppermint mocha. Oh, I smelled chocolate and I smelled peppermint. So I think things are opening up. This might be a little bit of too much of a TMI for you guys, but too much information. But when I went to stand up, was it yesterday or the day before? I got out of bed and I was walking through the kitchen and I felt this whole bunch of stuff just whoosh, slide down and down through the back of my throat as I stood up. So gravity is a thing, y'all. Gravity is a thing. Okay, let's set that over there. I'll show you. This is the diamond painting I was working on. And I have it stuck on one of my sticky pads. And that's what I'm working on. See the sticky pad? So Mr. Fiber was working on an easel for me, and it didn't have a bottom shelf. Well, he has done that now. I'll be showing y'all on a different video. Come back on Sunday. I'll show you Sunday. I don't like to I just want to sit here and talk to y'all and then don't do a whole lot of editing. Okay. And we need to pick another color because I'm ready to work on my poncho again. I got caught up. So in my Naughty Knitting Sacks by Katie, I have my poncho. Da-da-da. I'm loving it. I am loving this thing. I have a feeling, though, we're going to warm up before I really get a chance to wear it too much. Maybe we'll have some, like, coolish days when I get it done. Okay, and so yesterday's color was this hemp and acrylic blend, and this is all I got out of it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5 rows because I'd spiked it up onto another row or down to another row. So let me show you how that looks. Now, I don't know if this is really called a spike stitch. I have not tried to do the spike stitch, but I dipped below with my stitch. So there we go. That's how that looks. So did I keep that? Maybe I did. It is Yarn Bees Rustic Romantic was that color. That was the last one we picked. And it is 85% acrylic and 15% hemp. It's not terribly soft. I love the look of it. So I'm going to be really curious to see what happens when it gets washed. It works up nice though. It doesn't feel scratchy or anything. It feels almost like a cotton does, like a soft cotton, but not like soft cotton. It's a very unique feel to it. One of the things that was so cool about doing this and having Mr. Fiber pick these is that he is picking some stuff that I'm like, I set it up there and I'm like, I'm going to use that for something, but then I don't get to it, right? So he's pulling those off of there and I'm like, oh, I get to use that now. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. All right, let's pick another color. Y'all ready? Try not to look. I'm going to try to turn these a little bit. Move them around. You know what I'm saying? Like, see what I can do. Just kind of moving them around in here. Oh. Oh. That's cool. So this is another one I've been wanting to use and haven't yet. This is called Sesame from Barocco. Can y'all see it? This is 43% wool, 39% acrylic, 9% cotton, and 9% nylon. It's another blended yarn. Look at those colors, greens and browns and grays. So cool. Wow, we went light down into the greens. Hey, Bubby. Okay, I have got 100 grams, 230 yards in this one. So that's another it's a number 4 weight yarn. It's another cool yarn to get to use. You know, the last one had, in comparison, you guys, the last one had 220 yards. This one has 230. So we're going to get really close as far as our how many times around that we can do. All right. That just fell out. Oh, and the color on this one, does it say? Matcha. The color is called Matcha. Okay, that's our new color for today. I'm not going to be here very long. I know you guys are like, okay, you were thinking we're going to settle in and we're going to really talk some. I'm going to go have a lean back here. Oh, and attach this yarn. And let's see. You know, I may just go ahead and work this from the outside. Yeah, it's going to be hard to pull. Sometimes when you get these donuts, they're hard to pull. Now, I will say, looking at this yarn, it's bone time. I will say, looking at this yarn, that it is more what I would call a 3/4. So it leans towards thinner, so it's a lightweight number 4 yarn. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for that yarn. I'll put that in my bag down here and let it come out. So I don't want to talk for too long. I know that y'all are looking for some more stories about Germany. So I want to come on and give you another story, and then I'm going to go because I'm just not feeling all that great. Still not there. But I don't want to be stuck in the mud and, you know, feel good and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I'll tell you what happened yesterday. And the reason we didn't have a video, I was up Thursday night, was, you know, the full on with taking these steroids, you know, and I'll tell you what, I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't sleep. So I was up till 6 a.m. on Friday morning. And I kept thinking that I was about to go and fall out, that I was going to lay down and fall out. That was just it. I'm not going to last long. I'll be going out here real soon. And I did not lay down. Surprisingly, I did not lay down. So I made it to my Friday night, did the Friday night Stitch and Crime, and then I was actually up until 10 o'clock. So you just never know with these steroids what's going to happen. Anyway, it is what it is. But I stayed up and I worked on my sweater. So I've got my sweater to show you guys. I'll be showing you that on Sunday, so I hope you can come and join me for Sunday. If I don't feel good, you will see that, you know, there's just nothing has been posted. So, in case you're wondering, well, how are we going to know if you're going to be there or not? Well, I will be there if it's posted. Hopefully I put the right time on it. The other day, for Fridays, I put it for 7 a.m. Friday, and there were people in there. They were like, what? They got their notifications, and they're there. I love y'all. I just love y'all coming in there at 7 in the morning. But I was in bed, and my daughter, Chelsea, she woke me up and said, are you going live this morning? I'm like, no, I'm sleeping. Went to bed at 6 a.m. and she's messaging me at 7 going, hello? Total screw up. Total screw up. Oh, this is going to look really neat. Yeah. But y'all see. Here, look. Can you see it on there? I don't know if y'all can even see it. Right here. Right there. Anyway, you'll see when I get some more on there. So yeah, it's just been, it is what, like I said, it is what it is. So anyway, I cut my hair, all that, and we had pot pies for dinner. Today, Mr. Fiber went and got our dinner from town at the Mexican restaurant. And we're winging it around here. I get up and I get a few things done, and then I'm like, whew, that's it. So we are just winging it. So I'm going to give you a Germany story, and then we are going to go. I told you last time that we moved onto the economy, that we lived in a little town called Rüsselsheim. Maybe I'll give you 2 quick stories. We'll see how it goes. And I, of course, was not driving. We were halfway through my 8th grade year. So I finished my 8th grade year and then went into high school. Now, I had a little hiccup, believe it or not. I had been in California before we went to Germany. We were in Morro Bay, California, and I was in advanced, I don't know what they call them. I would say I was in advanced classes. So we had choices for, you know, when we picked our classes, we got to pick even our regular classes in California. So you picked your electives, and we also picked our regular classes. This was kind of like a progressive junior high I went to. And it just happened to be in that area. We weren't living in any fancy schmancy anything. My dad was Air Force. We weren't living, this was not fancy schmancy. But, and I got bused. I rode the bus. I've been rode the bus, you know, for as long as I can remember as a school-aged person. And, but we had electives. So I was in what I was taking creative writing, I was taking an advanced math class, all of that kind of stuff. When we got to Germany, and if people really wonder if the military schools are any good, okay, you wonder if the military schools are any good, let me just tell you this. I went from an advanced math class halfway through 8th grade math to Germany to the Dodds schools in 8th grade math in there at that junior high, and almost failed. I had a really tough time with it. I was barely passing at the end of that semester. And my teacher told me, he said, "I'm not doing that to you." I'm like, what do you mean? He says, "You need to assure me you're going to work your butt off when you get over there, because," he said, "I know that you moved halfway through the year." He was an extraordinary man. He really was. He fascinated me. He would sit, and this is a math teacher. He would sit to explain things. He would sit in the middle of the room, and he would turn the book, the math book, you know, like this. When he was teaching, he would turn it like this, the textbook, and he had really long fingers, big hands. He was a really tall man, and he would hold that book, and I remember his fingers would almost cover that textbook, and he would hold that textbook and teach us, and he'd sit on one leg on this chair. I'd never seen a teacher do that before. It was like, anyway, maybe if they were going to read to you, that's how he approached it. He just was like, "I'm going to get right in here and teach you." He was fascinating to me. He looked a lot like Charlie Pride, or and he wore slacks. You know, this was late 70s. He wore these nice slacks. What was the other one? To Sir with Love. What was his name? That's who he reminded me of. Every time I think of that teacher, and I can't remember his name, I just remember his face. But he said, I don't think you're going to have any problem. He says, "I think you're going to catch up. You're going to be okay, and you're going to catch up." He says, "I'm going to give you a little extra to do towards the end of the year, and here at the end of the year, and you get that stuff done, and you get help with it, whatever you need, and you get it back to me, and I'm going to pass you." And he did. He passed me. He said, "Because I do not want my students who go over to the high school to have to walk back to the junior high for another class and not be with their class." So that was phenomenal. Anyway, and I did fine. I didn't have any problem after that. He was absolutely right. Pretty good judge of things, I would say, of the students. So I rode the bus. Now, across the street from me was my best friend, Renata. And Renata was a year younger than me. So she was still in 8th grade as by the time that she and I started hanging out a lot together. She was in the 8th grade. I spilled my coffee. And I was in a freshman. And we spent every day. And she had a little brother named Sven, and she had a little brother named, a little sister named Iris. And her mother's name was Ella, and her Ella's husband, Renata's father, his name was Bruno. And Sven was the cutest little thing because he had the blondest hair. I mean, just blonde as it could be. Blonde and bushy, you know. Not curly, but just kind of like bushy. And he was a mile a minute, you know, just nonstop. But sweet. Very, very sweet. Well, I got on the train one time, and I was going home. I didn't miss the bus or anything like that. I had gone somewhere. I don't even remember where I'd gone. And I was leaving Wiesbaden to go home. And I had money for the train. Well, I missed my train. And I had money, but I just had so much in coin on me. So I went up to the phones. There was a bank of telephones to try to call. We didn't have a phone at our house. So I was going to call across the street to Renata's. And so I get on the phone and I call Renata's house, and I get Sven. Now, I only have so much coin. I had already got a ticket for the train, but I missed the train. And then I had the coin. So Sven picks up the phone and we talk. Hey, Sven, I need to talk to your mom. He goes, okay, I'll go get her. Click. He hangs up. Well, this isn't like regular phones. I'm on a payphone. He just hung up. We're done. And I got no more money. And I'm standing there and I'm looking at the phones trying to go, now what do I do? And from behind me I hear, hello? And I turn around to look, and this man spits out all these words in like 5 different languages. Not one of them is English. The one that I understood and I reacted to was the German. And he said, can you please move? I need the phone. So I stepped back out of the way, and I was so fascinated. And here I was, a freshman in high school, embedded in this, foreign country. And my first thought was, oh, I wish I could do that. I can't tell you what languages he spoke. Can't even tell you to this day what they were. But I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to learn all those languages, and I want to be an interpreter. I just thought, immediately, that's what I wanted to do. So I continued to take German. Now, I probably could have taken other language classes, but I only wanted to take the one German elective, and And I figured I would get to the other languages down the road. Like I would get this one done and then I would, would move on to like Spanish or, French or whatever down the road. And if you're wondering, I've never done it. No, I never did get to the other languages, just so you know. And, so I was just fascinated by language, and I still am. I'm fascinated by people and other places and languages. It's fascinating to me. But yeah, I probably should try and learn another language. I think it would be good for the brain to learn another language, but I'm losing the one that I learned. I always say I should go back and learn the German again to refresh myself. And I have the book. I have not my book that I very first had from school, but anyway, yeah, I just didn't do it. Life changes, you change, and we don't wind up doing all the things we thought we were going to do. Okay, Renata. My friend Renata and we just were an instant. Now I'm really tasting the peppermint in that. Now I'm really tasting it. The chocolate's kind of taking a back note, and I'm getting lots of peppermint now, which is good. I like it. It tastes like a peppermint patty. That's what it tastes like. That's good. Let's see. Renata, she came to school with me. Not to my classes. She never came to classes, anything like that. She came to a football game and stuff like that. She would come and she would get on. I would sign her on to base with me, and we would just go like to the rec hall or to the, to different stuff, yeah. And then I went to school with her, and here I was doing the freshman math and doing really great. And I went to school with her, and we got into her math class, and I was doing my best. I was understanding quite a bit, but not everything, but it was school setting, you're doing school stuff. You know what's going on, basically. You just may not understand what everybody's saying. And they were doing something up on the board, and it wound up being a question about, I think it was a question about a word problem, not a word problem, like I don't know how to say it. Some sort of kind of like, it wasn't geometry, but algebra, kind of an algebra equation kind of thing. Like the phrases you have to work out. Wasn't that algebra? Anyway. And none of the kids knew how to do it. Well, I raised my hand. I said, I can do it. And he goes, oh, come on up. All of in German. Not in English. This was all in German. So I went up there and I worked it all out, and all of a sudden everybody was like, wow. Oh. So it was fun. And the German school, going to school with my friend to her school, we walked from our house there through the neighborhood to her school. And she walked home for lunch and then back to school, or she would bring a little sack. No, but they didn't have cafeterias or anything like that at their school. There was no eating at school. You could bring stuff and eat outside, but there wasn't like a cafeteria kind of thing at their school. And it was a very open, it's an open building. It wasn't like rigid hallways of classes and stuff. Okay? It's like, I don't even know how to explain what this building was. Just like a regular office type building that you went into. And everybody just knew their schedule, knew what time. You didn't hear bells ringing all the time like you do in our schools. Like, let's get there. Come on. You're going to be late. Whatever. They just did what they were supposed to do. And, you know, it was fun to go sit out, you know, under the trees. And Germany is very pretty, too. It's a very pretty country. It's green. There's a lot of rain. We used to say that we only got 10 days of sunshine a year, and they weren't all together. Because there was a lot of rain over there. Anyway, what else? I like to skateboard and ride my bike around the neighborhood. Renata and I would do that. We would hang out outside all the time, or we'd hang out in her room. And we didn't watch TV. I didn't understand a whole lot of it anyway. So we stayed in her room and talked. We talked, we played with, like, we did a little bit. I wasn't really allowed to wear a lot of makeup, but we would do, like, you know, take spitz baths or whatever, and then we would fix our hair, and we would put lotion on, and we would look at books, and then we would just talk, and we would, I don't know. You know, you wonder what in the world you spent your time doing back in the day, because it's not like we were sitting around watching TV. I know Sven was watching cartoons. Sven watched quite a bit of cartoons, and then he'd go in his room and play. And it's not like we had phones. We visited. We spent all of our time probably just, I know we looked at magazines too. And I would go get the Tiger Beat magazine. I know, y'all, Tiger Beat magazine. Dad would take me to the BX, and I would go over to the bookstore. And I would get Tiger Beat, and what was the other one? Can't remember what it was. And we'd sit and go through the magazines. And she had German magazines, and German celebrities or American celebrities. And so we would just we'd do that quite a bit. Yep. We listened to music. I remember listening to music too. So I'd spend time at her house, or we'd spend time at my house in my room. So anyway, okay, now I can really show you what this is looking like. It's going to take me a lot longer to get around it, but can y'all see it? See? That's my story for today. Thank you guys for joining me. I apologize for the lateness of this, but, you know, it is what it is. I'll stop saying that because I think that's the 14th time I've said it today. You guys have a fabulous weekend. I hope you come see me tomorrow, and I'll show you everything I've been working on, and maybe put the shawl on, the poncho on. Nope, I'm not putting the poncho on tomorrow. But if I do my chat tomorrow morning, then I will put it on for you tomorrow morning. How's that? All right. Have a great day, everyone. Have fun today. Bye.